Hey everyone. So today I want to talk to you guys about repeating patterns that are in your life, or if you're at a state in your business or a place in your health or your relationships where you're hitting this block. You're right at that place and you stay there and you repeat it over and over again and you don't seem to move past it. Or if you do, you make some gains, you may hold it there or you come back. So I want to really talk about how this has to do with your success and getting the results that you choose, that you desire, or just settling for what you got, thinking it has something to do with you, thinking that, oh, maybe I'm just not good enough. Maybe I just am not meant to have X, Y, Z. These things, when we come up with those answers, like, oh, if I can't seem to get this result, and I've been trying for a very long time, this must be a sign that it's just not in the cards for me, or I'm not meant to have that life or have that income or have that level of success. If at all this resonates with you, I want you to understand that this is absolutely false, how you can override that. So the first thing I wanted to share is that if you are someone who is a high achiever, who is definitely someone who is willing to put in the work, put in the time to figure out how to achieve that level of success you're looking for, no matter what niche it's in, whether it's relationships, your health, or business, growing your income, all of that. If you have that desire within yourself, and again, not seeing the results or it's taking a very long time, the answer to that question has nothing to do with whether you're capable of it. That's what I said just previously. What I really want people to start to understand, especially where we are now, everything is modern. People are like high technology. We're moving into this new ascension, new earth type talk, but people are still living in the Stone Age. They have to understand that you need to evolve. Not just the world outside, not just technology and what systems are telling you, this is the truth, this isn't, this is how far we've come. You need to understand that for you to achieve the level of results in your life, it always starts with you. It may be a lot of responsibility to take this on, but I think for the ones that are high achievers, they are willing to take on this responsibility. And the responsibility is this. You create your reality. You just don't know certain things. You're missing information. And then all of a sudden you go into the systems programming and start thinking thoughts like, I'm not good enough. I may not be supposed to have this life. Maybe this isn't in the cards for me. Those kind of thoughts in your mind are programs. They're not truth. So no matter who you are, just to be very clear, if there is something that you absolutely desire, it is in alignment with you. It is part of your natural beingness. I need to make sure that's very clear. It has to be something that you desire that is part of your purpose or your soul's plan. It can't be something that you are desiring that's out of alignment with your soul purpose. And because it's material, because it's going to give you validation, because it's going to put you on some pedestal and hope that people will start to look at you differently, these ways of trying to achieve things will just set you up to fail. And you will fail at some point because you're completely out of alignment with your true self. But when you're listening to your intuition, you're totally in alignment with your purpose, then you have to understand that it's just information, knowledge that's missing from you, from your mind, from your experiences that is holding you back from what you want. So it is never about you're not worthy. It's never about whether or not you're capable. It's information and knowledge that you just need to attain for you to be able to take your life and your business to that next level. That's what the truth is about why you are where you are. Now, one of the things our ego does, it tries to keep us, I can do everything on my own. When we have a lot of subconscious programming and we are not aware of them or we don't want to look at them, we have to understand that a lot of our programming, when you hear yourself say, I don't need anyone else, I'm not willing to invest my time or my money in somebody else to learn this. These are really backwards ways of thinking if you're someone who truly wants a very abundant and successful life. Whenever you're investing your so-called money and your time into someone else, I would advise to look at the fact that you're investing in yourself. And they just happen to have the knowledge and the information that will help you grow into the person that you need to be to achieve that result, to become a magnetic match for that result. Because everything that we have in our life is an energetic match to what we are. So re-listen to that again. You're not investing in that coach or mentor. You're investing in yourself. And that's a completely different perception. Now, this is why the ego holds us back. This is why our subconscious programmings of scarcity and fear hold us back. And if you don't recognize them, you're going to wonder why 5 years, 10 years, 30 years goes by and you're like, I'm doing all the work. I'm reading all the books. I've actually put myself in the environments of very successful people, but I'm not doing much. Well, this is where you're going to start to understand a little bit more about that. You only have information that your brain or your mind pulls from your past. So when you ask yourself the question, if you're not going to invest in anybody else, you're going to just do it alone, what I want all of you to see is that your mind, your brain, is only able to access information to answer your question from your past. And I really want you guys to understand that. So think about this. If you've never, ever done something, that's why you want it. So if you've never been a multimillionaire and you now want to be a multimillionaire, how do you think by working by yourself, asking yourself, how do I do this, by your brain reflecting back on your past, is going to get you to be a multimillionaire? This is what most people do. It could also be finding the love of your life, or even about your health. If you ask your mind to help you solve a problem, it only looks back at your past, gives you that information, which will just recycle the same problem over and over again. And that would be the loop of doom. So as I've shared in many, many reels, and a lot of you already know this, the information that all of us get through the system here is very limited, and it's not true. Most of it goes against our being, it goes against universal laws, and it absolutely is limited, where it never allows you to figure out how to become rich, abundant, healthy, prosperous, and to live an extraordinary life. The system gives you just enough to keep your nose above water. So that's something that we all know. The system doesn't set us up to win. The system sets us up to be mediocre and live in a very scarcity, fearful life. But that doesn't have to be your reality. But the people that choose to understand how to break free from this, these are the people that I'm talking to, because they know that this isn't how it's supposed to be. There's something wrong here. Something smells fishy. So where I'm going with this is, if you only try to get answers from your mind, which only looks in your past, you will not get anything new. And if you try to get answers from anything through the system here, which is pretty well all of the internet, our educational system, media, right? Then guess what? That's all limited, and it's not going to help you get rich, abundant, and be fearless and courageous. Oh, no. You know that. So this is where you can't get information from there either, because if you do, it's going to match what your past is. So you're never getting new information. You're getting recycled old information that keeps you right where you are. So you're probably saying, well, Kimberly, where do I go then? How do I get this information? Well, there's two ways that I always use, because they both work in harmony with each other. You obviously have to think about the fact that if there's somebody, a mentor or coach, that has the result that you're looking for. They've already done the work. They've invested in themselves. They've achieved those levels of results. They have the information that you just don't have right now. So the quickest route would be hire them, find out what they know, and apply what feels good within your body towards your results, your success, whatever it is you want, because they already have the missing information. This is so empowering and so powerful. Thank goodness for those coaches and mentors who will continue to grow and evolve themselves in their business. But then you also have to understand that you are powerful. You have access to information, infinite potentiality within yourself, outside of the system's third dimension, which means you have to start to open your mind up and realize that there is a spiritual realm and there is a physical realm. And you have to understand how to navigate both. Most of humanity only lives in the physical realm, and this is why they struggle and try so hard to achieve success. The effortless way is remembering that you are spiritual and you are physical. And when you put those together as whole in unity, you're unstoppable. Spirit, quantum field, it's infinite. Meaning there are no walls, no barriers. Infinite potentiality exists there. So living in the physical world, accessing information from there is the most limited way of achieving anything you desire. It's limited. But when you exit that area and you move into higher planes of existence where you are as a spiritual being, you can access information that you cannot access here, and then you can bring it into the third dimension. That's the law of transmutation of energy. So It's not just hiring a coach to help you understand things. It's the fact that you already have access to this information. You can access information that will achieve every goal, every desire that you want. But here's the problem. Not everybody listens to their intuition, because their intuition is going to push them towards growing. Their intuition is going to put them into an uncomfortable position, into a place they've never been before. And guess what? Most people aren't willing to do that because they don't understand the unknown and they fear it. This is why, if you can have a coach and hire a mentor, they hold you accountable. They are in your corner. So when you get this, what you feel is an illogical hit, or you're getting an intuition to get you to do something that may seem a little bit illogical, or it seems out there, that's what you absolutely need to do. Illogical and out there is what's going to take you out of the norm and bring you into extraordinary. So having a coach, having a mentor that stands by you and says, yeah, I did this, and this is what we need to do if we want an extraordinary life, if you want that level of success you're looking for, if you're looking to really have something extraordinary in the reality that you're in, it all comes from who you choose to be. So you have to choose to, put your big girl and big boy pants on and say, okay, I'm willing to do this because I trust me growing is going to change everything. It's going to bring me towards what I want. Growth, expansion towards your purpose will guarantee you success. So as I shared at the very beginning of these reels, if you find that you're at a place in your life, you're at a crossroads, or you're at a place where it's stagnant, it's repetitive, it's mediocre, you're like, I know I need to do something, but I'm not doing it, or you're not sure what you need to do. But the repeating patterns are showing up over and over and over again in your life. These repeating patterns are not negative. These repeating patterns are beautiful, because if they repeat enough, it might actually get your attention. If you start to live your life in a more mediocre way, it's every day is mundane like Groundhog Day, maybe that is enough over a certain period of time to get you to just want more and be willing to open your mind to say, okay, what is it that I am missing, that I need to learn, what I need to understand for me to finally have the life that I desire? There is a very big paradigm around wanting more is bad. You're selfish if you want more. There's people in this world that do not have even close to what you have. Guilt, 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 guilt. That's the system. The universe, science tells us, doesn't stop expanding. It's always growing. It's always expanding. And right now it's accelerating, meaning growth acceleration. We are the universe. We are nature. We're always about growth and expansion. So if we don't grow and we don't expand, our minds, our consciousness, our abilities, just like nature, will be removed, right? So you have to look at yourself as a part of nature. Are you growing and evolving? Because if we stand still, we're not still, we're going backwards. And if you're going backwards, what can you get? Will you get abundance going backwards? No. Will you get freedom, autonomy, happiness, joy going backwards, going against nature? No. We have all been programmed to go against our own law of being and nature. This is why when you're in the zone, when you're in the vortex where everything seems to be working for you, whether you did it purposely or not, you are now in harmony with law. Have you not all experienced something in your time, in your life, where something just happened and it was effortless? You said, oh my God, I don't know what it is, but I feel like I'm in the zone. No matter what I do, everything is working out for me. I don't have to try. I don't have to work hard. It's literally just coming to me like a magnet. I know I had these things happen to me when I was really young. It was effortless, and when I was doing sports and then other things in life. And I'm like, what happened? But I didn't know about laws. I didn't know about aligning with these universal principles. I just happened to tap into it. I don't even know how I did it back then. This is where I've spent a lot of my life trying to figure out, well, how do you stay in that place where it's effortless wealth, it's effortless health, it's effortless success? If we accept that money is hard to earn, that is your fate. Is it true? No, but it'll be true for you. If we accept that the world is meant to be a harsh place, that we're meant to struggle for our gains, we're meant to struggle and work extremely hard, and hopefully one day we'll get what we want. If you accept that, that will be your fate. What I want you guys to understand is what you accept is what you experience. If you become more aware of your environment, you will realize that you need to start saying no. You start rejecting a lot of these programs that we get in the system. Are they for the greater good of you? If they're not, reject them. The reason why there are very little right now multimillionaires that have started with nothing and evolved and grew a business and became extremely successful, the reason why there's so little of them is because most people aren't willing to invest their own money and time to learn about what they know, because they're willing to share it with you, but they're not willing to invest the money to get that result. There's the problem right there. And also, they are ones who will not settle for the system. They're not here for mediocrity. They're not here. They're not available for it. They have something within them that wants more, and they know there's nothing wrong with wanting more. So what you accept becomes your fate. So you have to look and say, okay, I've accepted a lot of these things that the system's given me. I look back at my parents' life, my grandparents, my great-grandparents, and they all accepted the same similar systems rules. And are any of them living an extraordinary life, a free life, so always healthy, always happy? And most likely the answer is no, because they're locked into the system. So what you need to decide is, if you want to learn how to exit it, your vibrational frequency is the only way to exit it, which means you have to change. You have to grow and expand. You have to take in new information that doesn't come from the third dimension. And it's going to be information that does not feel good within your body, because it's going to make you nervous. It might excite you, but are you willing to take courageous action even though you have no idea if it's going to work or not? The system gives you the same information over and over again that you know if you do it, you know the result. I know what I'm going to make this week. I know what I'm going to make every 2 weeks. I know that I can go on vacation once a year during this period of time. That's predictable. When you want an extraordinary life and you want to live outside of that, where only like 2% of the human beings are willing to go, then you don't settle for that. You escape it. You leave it. So if you're predicting anything in your life, you've already done it. You're familiar with it. It's not going to expand you much. This is where, instead of fearing the unknown, it's something to turn around in your perception and realize the unknown is exactly the path that's going to take you towards what you want. If you're going towards something you've already done, you're repeating the pattern. Unconsciously or not, you're walking that loop of doom. You're going around in a circle, in another loop, and another loop, and that's why people see patterns in their life and they don't realize they're walking around in circles. Because their mind just keeps them walking where the familiar is, where it's safe. Because you have to understand your mind. But your mind doesn't want you stuck. You just got to give it new information for it to follow. You are meant to be the master, not the mind. And now it's the other way around. So you need to master yourself and understand the laws of the universe. You need to understand the laws of your being. Just like we have to understand the laws of electricity, or that can harm us, laws of gravity. How can you not think there's any more laws in this universe that govern you? And there are. So what if you accepted that the unknown is where you want to go all the time? Where you are excited instead of in fear? Because all this is an inverted way of thinking. We've been programmed to believe that anything that we don't know, that we can't predict, that we're walking in a direction we've never walked before, we should absolutely fear that. And this is crazy. It's the actual opposite. You should not fear walking towards somewhere you've never been. It should excite you, knowing that you're leaving behind the normal, the patterns of repetition, but now you're leaving to somewhere new. Yes, it's unknown, but it's new, and it's going to bring new to you. And anything new in terms of information is going to expand you. It's going to grow your level of mind. It's going to grow your consciousness. It's going to give you more information. It's going to give you more experience. And that is what allows you to grow above where you are right now. So like I said at the very beginning of these reels, if you are at a place where you're not growing, where you have the same income roughly every single year, you have the same relationships and they're not growing, you're the one who's not growing. So you don't have to get the partner to do any work. You don't have to go to try to find out strategies how to grow your income. The very first thing that I would encourage you to do is say, how much have I grown? What have I done that is actually bringing me into new areas, unknowns, that make me a different person, that change my identity? Because if you can say, well, I'm not doing any of that, then you're living the predictable life, and don't expect the unpredictable. Don't expect anything new to come in your life if you are living the predictable life. So if you turn it around and you do not accept anymore in your subconscious mind that, oh, the unknown is scary, I better stay safe. No, the unknown is where your freedom lies. It's where every dream you have is, because it's on a different frequency. And you need to match it for you to receive it. So how you escape doing the same thing, how you quantum leap into something new, something you're desiring, something you've wanted to have as a result in your life for maybe months or years, is by understanding that your senses are not the final authority. They're just reflecting back to your past thinking. So if you want to create something new and make that quantum leap, you need new ideas, new thoughts that expands your mind and expands you. And the moment you do that, your whole world changes. So everyone seems to think the same reality is for everyone. No, your reality is based on your level of consciousness. When you stop buying into the system and all the limitations, and you open your mind up to the unknown, to new ideas that bring you towards what you want, the reality that you perceive, your individual reality changes. So you don't have to keep living this life. You can be on a different timeline and experience a completely different life. So you choose your timeline by the level of consciousness that you're operating at. And the way you grow your consciousness is growing yourself. New information, new experiences, new actions, new life. And that's how you change your life. So what I'm trying to share with you today is to accept new beliefs and reject the old patterns that you have there. Look at the patterns. If you're repeating things, if you're stuck in life, if you feel like you just don't know the answer, you probably don't know the answer. Because what you're doing is you're looking for the answers from your mind that only knows the past. So this is where you have to get information from your intuition. And then you also want to tap into information from people who have already got what you want. It's so simple. They have already figured it out. They have the information that you don't have. You're just missing information. That's it. But the gap between you where you are now and where you want to be requires you to invest in yourself. It requires grit. It requires courage. It requires you to stand out. It requires you to lose your old identity and become someone new. It requires you to grow. It requires you to evolve. It requires you to be different than the person you are now. Now, with all of those things I just said, how many of you are willing to drop all that? That's why there's only 1% right now of people who figured it out that are wealthy, healthy, abundant, and successful, because they were willing to let go of all of that and become someone completely new.